I sensed something was off the instant her laughter no longer carried the warmth I knew so well. It was a Friday evening, one of those social events her company arranged every couple of months. This time Jenna insisted I join her, saying it would be good for us to attend as a couple. I took it as a hopeful sign that she wanted to reconnect. Lately, she had been distant, smiling at her phone more often than at me, always claiming exhaustion when I tried to start a conversation, and constantly too busy for a simple date night. The house was alive with activity when we arrived. Golden light spilled across the lawn, glasses clinked, and music played beneath a layer of cheerful chatter. I poured myself a drink, trying to calm the uneasy knot twisting inside me. Jenna slipped into the crowd almost instantly, vanishing from my side like water slipping through my hands. I told myself not to be that husband, the jealous one hovering over his wife's every move. So I mingled, smiled when expected, laughed at the right times. But that weight in my chest never let go. It gnawed at me, steady and relentless. Then I heard it, that laugh. Bright, breathless, the same way she used to laugh when we were first falling in love. The sound pulled me like a magnet. I followed it to the glass doors opening onto the patio. And there she was, half hidden, her hand resting against another man's chest while he leaned close to whisper in her ear. His thumb traced circles over her wrist, and she didn't pull away. Her lips parted slightly, just enough to make my heart sink. The drink in my hand turned metallic in taste. "Hey, you okay?" one of her coworkers asked, brushing past me, oblivious to the war erupting inside my chest. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. I just turned and walked out, pushing through the crowd until I reached the night air. The cold hit me hard as I unlocked the car, my hands trembling. I didn't text her, didn't call. I refused to cause a scene in front of everyone. The drive home passed in a haze, headlights, empty streets, and the sound of her laughter echoing in my skull. I sat in the dark living room for hours, staring at the wall. Was it just a fleeting moment, or something far deeper? How long had this been happening? By 2 a.m., I made a decision. I wouldn't beg for clarity. If she wanted to break what we had, she could do it without me. I locked the bedroom door from my side and lay awake, listening to each tick of the clock dragging me toward morning. At 3:15 a.m., she stumbled in. I heard the sharp clatter of her heels on the hardwood, then a muttered curse as she kicked them off. No bedroom door opened. Just faint movements in the kitchen, the click of a cabinet closing. At 7:30, a knock rattled the door. "Daniel." Her voice was shaky, small. "Can we talk?" I stayed silent. Another knock, more desperate this time. "Please open the door." I rose slowly, unlocking it just enough to meet her eyes. They were bloodshot, mascara streaked from the night before. "You left without saying anything," she whispered. I stared at her. Should I have stayed? Her lips trembled, words caught in her throat. "It's not what you think." "Then tell me what I think, Jenna. Help me understand." Her eyes filled with tears. "It was just a conversation." "With your hand on his chest?" I asked flatly. "Daniel, I swear." "I don't want excuses." I cut her off, my voice eerily calm. I stepped past her into the kitchen and started making coffee. My hands no longer shook. They were steady, but cold. She followed me, fidgeting with her fingers like a guilty child. "I drank too much," she stammered. "He was just being friendly." "Friendly?" I repeated. "That's what we're calling it now." Her breath hitched. "You don't understand." "I understand enough." I turned and faced her fully. I stood there, Jenna. I saw everything. That broke her. Her shoulders slumped, and she leaned against the counter as though her legs had given out. "I messed up," she whispered. "Is that all it was?" I asked quietly. "A mistake." Her silence gave me the answer. The morning dragged on in tense fragments. She tried explaining, insisting it was nothing, that she hadn't crossed a line. I asked if this was the first time. Her hesitation told me everything I needed. Was he worth it? I finally asked. Tears spilled down her face. "No, it wasn't like that. I don't even like him that way. She broke off, choking. I felt invisible, Daniel. That cut deeper than anything. Invisible. After years of sacrifices, late nights at work, weekends traded for a future we were supposed to share, she dared to say she felt unseen. You felt invisible, so you clung to the first man who made you feel noticed. My voice was sharp. Her sobs answered for her. By afternoon, she was unraveling, pacing the kitchen, picking up her phone only to hang up before calling her sister. She tried to touch my hand once, but I pulled away. Don't, I said simply. Not now. We skipped lunch. We barely spoke. I sat at the table pretending to read emails while my mind was fogged, and she curled on the couch like someone waiting for judgment. The weight of her betrayal seeped into every corner of the house. By evening, I still hadn't decided what came next. Divorce? Counseling? Silence? I wasn't sure there was anything left to repair. At 10 p.m., she crumbled. She knelt beside my chair, clutching my hands with desperate fingers. Please, Daniel, please don't leave me, she pleaded. Her voice cracked. I don't want him. I don't want anyone else. I was drunk. I was stupid. I wanted attention. God, I hate myself for it. I looked at her, the woman I once loved trembling under the weight of her own choices. And here's what no one prepares you for. Betrayal doesn't always come with cruelty. Sometimes it's just weakness. Foolish, selfish weakness. But it destroys you all the same. I'm not deciding tonight, I said finally. I need space. She nodded, tears dripping onto my hands. I'll do anything. Please don't give up on us. I gently pulled my hands free and walked upstairs without another word. The days that followed blurred together. Quiet meals, unspoken words. I moved into the guest room. She started therapy. I picked up journaling again, something I hadn't touched in years. 6 weeks have passed. Some mornings I almost forget. Almost. Other mornings, the memory strikes like a fresh wound, that image of her fingers resting where mine once belonged. She's making efforts, I'll admit. She deleted her social media, cut contact with him, arranged counseling. But trust doesn't return overnight. And when it grows back, it grows crooked. Last night, she asked me if I still loved her. I didn't respond right away. I stared at the ceiling, listening to rain against the windows. Finally, I said, I love the woman I married. I don't know if that's you anymore. She cried herself to sleep beside me, while I lay awake wondering if some betrayals aren't meant to be forgiven, only endured. By morning, she broke completely. Not just from guilt, but from realizing a painful truth, that love isn't a net you can fall into without tearing holes. Once trust is cracked, the lines remain even if you try to piece it back together. I still haven't decided what I'll do. But I know this much. The man I was before that party no longer exists. Whatever future lies ahead, whether we mend or part, it will rest on honesty, not illusions. Because I would rather face solitude with truth than companionship built on betrayal.